What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So the day has finally arrived. The House committees are finally done with their work on this $1.9 trillion stimulus package that President Biden initially proposed. This means that tomorrow, the House Budget Committee, which is a little bit different, but the House Budget Committee can now combine all these committee bills together and make the budget reconciliation bill. This is going to be that $1.9 trillion stimulus package that everybody has been waiting for very patiently. So this means we could be seeing the bill this week. We could see the bill possibly tomorrow, but most likely on Friday. We will see the bill before it gets voted on, which will most likely happen on Tuesday of this upcoming week. So what currently is in the bill is also being considered as not final. This is a little bit odd, but according to all reports, many lawmakers are currently saying that this bill is not done. We still have a ways to go. What they are saying is that lawmakers within the House will be asking for changes and proposing amendments. They are saying that this bill will then get sent over to the Senate, and most likely, according to all reports, according to what many senators are currently saying, the Senate will make changes as well. So, if this happens, things could ultimately be delayed. Many are saying that this bill might not actually get passed in February. We might see this get pushed back into the middle of March, but the current deadline is currently March 14th. Congress, the House, and the Senate are currently trying to do everything they can to get this bill done before March 14th's deadline, where we would see unemployment pretty much stop. It would pretty much be the drop dead date for unemployment at that time. So, based on what all these lawmakers are saying right now, this will get debated on, and when it does, it will get changed, and then it will go to a vote within the House. But you need to understand, even though the House committees were working on this bill, they were not taking into consideration all, the hundreds of current representatives in the House. They weren't doing this. So we are going to see a debate, and this will then go to the Senate, where the Senate will most likely make changes. Then it will go back to the House, because if there's any changes made after the House passes it, and it's made in the Senate will then go and pass it. It will have to be kicked back to the House. They will have to pass it again, and then it will finally be able to go to President Biden. But if the House makes another amendment, then it will have to go back to the Senate, and it'll have to keep going back and forth until there's absolutely no amendments made, and the bill just gets passed. So, based on what we're hearing, we still have weeks to go. But finally, the House committees are done. They've known about this bill. They've known about this proposal for a while. But, and I'm going to get to the bill in just a second and what we know is currently going to be in it. But again, this is not final. Okay, just keep that in mind. The first thing that you're going to notice about this bill is that it is almost identical to what President Biden proposed. However, there are some slight changes. One of the things that is missing in this bill is there's no federal mandate for paid family, medical, or sick leave. This was something that Democrats really wanted. This is something that they say it helps minimize risk in the workplace because employees will not be required to go into work because they know they will have some paid family, medical, and sick leave. But if they don't have this and they cannot afford to take a day off, they don't have any paid time off or PTO or even sick leave, then chances are they'll go to their workplace, possibly infected, and also infect other people. But that's currently a risk that Democrats want to make. So, we also know that all this other stuff is going to be included. So here's what we know will be included into this stimulus package. First, we'll start off with it. You know it's coming. It's in the title. And I talk about this on almost every single video. The stimulus payments, the $1,400 stimulus checks. Now, President Biden promised $2,000, and he is pretty much taking the $600 plus the $1,400 in new money, and that equals $2,000. That's as much as we're going to get. He will not increase the amount, and we know even though progressives are pushing for this, there is no way this will be a monthly payment. We also know the payments will be for individuals who make less than $75,000, and there will be a drop-dead cutoff at $100,000. For couples, it's $150,000 or less. It will then phase out until they get to $200,000. And at that point, you will lose any stimulus check that you could receive. Now, as to when you will get this, most experts are saying this will probably be sometime in April, most likely early to middle of April. We also know there's a federal minimum wage in here for $15 per hour that would actually go into effect immediately. However, it would only go up to $9.50 per hour immediately. Then, over 4 years, it would actually get phased up into the $15 per hour range. Now, we also know that there are people that oppose this. For example, Senate Democrat Kirsten Sinema out of Arizona, she opposes this. She says that she's not going to support a $15 federal minimum wage in a budget reconciliation during a pandemic when it's going to hurt businesses. Joe Manchin has said that he would not support this if the Senate parliamentarian says and rules against this being in the budget reconciliation. So we will see what happens there. We also know there's a child tax credit and earned income tax credit as well. The child tax credit will be for parents. For children that are between 0 and 5, they'll receive $3,600 per year. Children between 6 and 17 will receive $3,000 per year. However, they will get this money per month starting in July, as long as the bill is passed before that, which hopefully it is, because the American people cannot wait. We also know there's going to be earned income tax credit. This is going to increase. This was $500 per year, and this will actually triple. So this is going to be $1,500 per year, and that should help out a decent amount of people. It's a pretty good tax earned income tax credit right there. Like I said, when we will see these payments is going to be in July. The IRS is stating that they will send the payments out to the exact same place you receive your stimulus check. So if you're having issues with your stimulus check, I would try to fix this issue before you get the $1,400 check, because if, let's say, you change your bank account, you moved, or for whatever reason something is different and you just didn't get the $600, fix it before you get the $1,400 so that you know, okay, it's right. Now when I receive my child tax credit starting in July, I will get it to the right account. We also know there's unemployment benefits. This will go from $300 per week up to $400. This will extend from March 14th, or technically March 15th would be the next day, until August 29th. What we know is this is going to include the PEUC and PUA unemployment programs all the way till August 29th as well. After that, so starting in September, you will not see any additional unemployment benefits unless it's through your state. The state can still provide you unemployment benefits. Granted, you cannot get as many weeks, but you can still get your state benefits. So that will be helpful there. We also know there's housing and nutrition assistance. This bill is going to include $19.1 billion for state and local governments to be used to cover for rent and utility costs for lower income households. We know there's going to be a 15% increase in SNAP benefits. We also know there's $880 million for WIC, and that will continue the pandemic EBT program. And let's see what else. We got housing assistance. We know there's going to be $11 billion in here for things like housing counseling and homeless services, and also $10 billion for mortgage payment assistance. And this is something that's a little bit different than getting your mortgage forbearance, where you're technically not paying your mortgage for X amount of months. But for this bill, there's $10 billion for mortgage payment assistance. So if you were let go from your job, you're struggling, you've been unable to pay your mortgage, and maybe you're at risk of a possible foreclosure, that's something that you can tap into, potentially get some money. And as far as how many months, we currently don't know until we see the actual text of this bill. We also know there's going to be $130 billion in here for schools, for K through 10 schools, to help them reopen. $40 billion will be for colleges, $39 billion for child care providers, for things like salaries, rent, supplies, and things like that. There's also healthcare and Medicare medical costs as well. Some are saying that this was supposed to be Medicare for all. However, it is not. It doesn't actually say that. It's just going to improve on a few things. Let's see. We have... it's going to help with certain premiums. We know this bill is going to contain funding for medical aspects of COVID, specifically $46 billion for testing, contact tracing, and mitigation efforts. There's $7.6 billion in here to hire 100,000 public health workers. This is really going to help get the vaccines out. It's going to help with testing and everything in between. And there's also $14 billion for the vaccines themselves. So this should help us try to speed along our economic recovery and get through this health crisis. We also know there's going to be state and local government funding. That's $350 billion for state and local governments and for tribal governments as well. This will be $150 billion in aid. We've already received $150 billion in aid from March and December. And so this is going to help really get the governments and our state and local governments, back to where they once were. Right now, we were expected to see $160 billion in December, but right now this $350 billion is obviously way surpassing that. Should really help out state and local governments, and we could easily see this, kind of kickstart some hiring, kickstart some maybe increased pay for some of these employees and things like that. So this should help out a lot of people. Now, I just want to say that even though we don't have all the details yet, and again, it's pretty much just a identical piece to what President Biden has already proposed. But the good thing about this is we are getting closer. We're getting really close to seeing more stimulus. We're getting really close to seeing additional stimulus check, additional unemployment benefits. We're getting very, very close. Now, I know a lot of people are going to, hate on, Democrats and Republicans. Democrats are taking too long. They have all the power. Republicans are like, no, you should have, negotiated with us for the last deal because that's the last deal we were going to pass. And everyone's going to hate on everybody. I get it. But just understand, we're going to see something. President Biden said today that the goal is to provide relief. That's the goal. To get relief, get the American people back to their normal lives. That means open up schools, get people back to work, get people back to socializing, kids back in sports, and so much more. If we can finally see this, then, and only then, we will be able to go back to normal life. Yes, we may still have to wear masks, we still may have to wash our hands a little more often, and we may have to wear masks and social distance this coming fall and winter, but if we can at least have somewhat of a normal life throughout the spring and summer, that's currently what is the goal. So what I can tell you right now is there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Hopefully the House will have this done soon where we can really pick through this bill with a fine-tooth comb. At least that is my hope. But as I know more on this bill, I promise I'll come back and fill you in on all the updates. Just want to thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions on any of this stuff, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. One of the things I'm trying to do is I'm trying to pick out some of these comments like I did earlier today, which if you didn't get a chance to watch that video, I'll link to it down in the description box below, where I talk about how the $1,400 stimulus checks are kind of in jeopardy because of the $15 federal minimum wage increase. So if you have a question, ask it down in the comment section below, and I might pick your question so I can do a complete video on that question. So again, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for all your comments. Consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on, and I'll see you guys on the next one.